Hey, in this video we're going to cover 3/4 time. Okay? One measure of 3/4 time has 3 quarter notes inside of that measure. All right? And we get that information by remembering that the left side of a time signature is the number of beats, and the right side of the time signature is the type of beat. So, the logic behind arriving at a quarter note to understand and communicate what's happening in music is to realize that there is one hole right here. Imagine this is a pizza. This is a hole. You take the whole pizza, you cut it in half, you get 2 halves, all right? And then you take those 2 halves, you cut those in half, and you get 4 quarters. All right, I'm gonna erase that for a moment. So that's how we arrive at an understanding of quarter notes in music. The way that we're gonna illustrate 3/4 time is actually by drawing a hexagon. Now this is the exact same way that I like to illustrate and think about 6/8 time. All right, the only difference in this illustration for 3/4 time is that we're not gonna use triangles to break apart this hexagon like we did in the 6/8 video. We're actually gonna use 3 different rhombi. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Okay, now I do want you to connect these dots. Okay, I'm gonna use a different color, and with this hexagon I'm actually going to illustrate 6/8 time. All right, and we're going to use triangles to do that. Now 6/8 time, do we remember? 6/8 time is how many beats per measure? It's 6 beats per measure. And what type of beat is it? It's an 1/8 note. All right, so 6/8 time is 6/8 notes per measure. All right, that can be illustrated just like this. And we emphasize beats 1 and 4 in 6/8 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, do you notice any similarities between 3/4 time and 6/8 time? Hopefully what you recognize is that both of these can be illustrated by using a hexagon. All right, now here's the connection between 6/8 time and 3/4 time. When I multiply one of these 1/8 notes in 6/8 time by 2, what do I get? I get a rhombus right there. When I multiply that one by 2, I get a rhombus. When I multiply this guy right here by 2, I get a rhombus. Now, here's what I want you to understand. I'm going to draw these back. Now, I want you to understand that this now looks exactly like the illustration of 3/4 time. This 6/8 measure here now looks like this measure of 3/4 time. And the reason being is because I multiplied 3 of the 1/8 notes by 2 to get 3 total quarter notes. Now, I'm gonna draw over here, I think you can see this. I'm gonna draw this circle. All right, this is a hole. You split it in half, you get 2 halves. You split those 2 halves in half, you get 4 quarters. You split those quarters in halves, you get 8 eighths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4/4 time is like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, all right, we count that like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When I count this in terms of quarter notes, however, the speed in which I counted now gets cut in half. All right. Remember when we counted this in 8 notes, we went 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if we're counting quarters, it becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If we count the 8s, it goes 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the way you undo a subdivision is to multiply it by 2. You're not dividing what was by 2, you're multiplying what is by 2, and that's why you get 3 quarter notes when you work backwards from 8th notes. All right, from 6/8 time, 6/8 time multiplied by 2 becomes 3/4 time. Okay, so the reason that we use 3/4 time to explain music is when 6/8 time takes way too long. When 6/8 time takes way too long to explain a measure of music, we want to lean on explaining music with 3/4 time. The shape is very similar. We saw the hexagon with 6/8 time, and now we see the hexagon with 3/4 time. But the time that we need to give each beat in 3/4 time is actually more. We want each single beat inside of this measure to actually get a lot more time than it would if we were doing 6/8 time. Okay, and the reason this is the logic is because when we're writing chords and when we're singing songs, sometimes we might want to slow a song down, but we also don't want to overcomplicate one measure of music. And so 3/4 time is actually used to explain a lot of hymns, and 3/4 time is used on songs like Amazing Grace, In Christ Alone, Jesus Paid It All. Just 3 quick examples that popped into my head of 3/4 time. But the reason 3/4 time works super well is because it actually subdivides really beautifully, and you can sing a slower melody like Jesus paid it all, and you can keep the movement going without feeling like you're stretching it out way too long. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Okay, so in 3/4 time you do emphasize the first beat, but the BPM, beats per minute, is that the BPM's low enough to where if you needed to actually subdivide these quarter notes into 8th notes, you can, and it will still feel pretty good, especially for a click. All right, so you get 2 clicks per quarter note now if you're counting like that. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain, he washed it white as snow. That makes sense? So we want to use 3/4 time to explain music that does have a little bit of a waltz, but doesn't accomplish a consistent tempo for us to really count and lock in with. So we use 3/4 time to communicate what's happening in one measure of music. When we want what I will call in this video, when we want a slow rock feel. Okay? When we want a slow rocking feel. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Jesus paid it all to him I owe. It's like 6/8 in slow motion. It's kind of what I think of, all right? Oop, I just chunked this lid. So, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts on explaining that in a better way, I would love to hear those from you. And as always, please feel free to reach out with any questions you might have or other ideas for more videos, or maybe something was not super clear in that video that you would like a better explanation for. Let me know, and I will do my best to get that for you very soon. 3/4 time is a slow rocking feel. Remember, we want to get the intellectual into the physical so that the musical is all the more better. And ultimately, if we're pursuing musical depth as Christians, I believe that is something we're compelled to do, because we realize how much God's done for us, and the spiritual will very much so influence the musical. So God bless you. Talk to you soon. Bye.